All right. All right, we're gonna reconvene this meeting that was recessed a few weeks ago, and open this meeting tonight with a word of prayer and pledge. Mr. Caldwell, you mind leading us in a word of prayer, sir?
Well, Lord, we thank you for this day and thank you for all your many gifts and blessings, Lord. And Lord, I pray that you be with us as we conduct the county business, Lord, and you will give us all guidance and wisdom, and we will do everything in accordance to your will. Thank you again for everything you do for us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Flag behind us. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May be seated. Do we have anybody signed up for public comment, Christian? No? All right, well, we're gonna get this meeting started. We're gonna turn it over to our budget director, Ms. Brandy Williams. She's gonna walk us through surplus property, budget amendments, and so on. Correct.
All right, first thing on the agenda is 5 vehicles that the sheriff's department is asking to surplus and sell and go bid.
You guys had a chance to review that. I'll entertain a motion to make that happen.
So moved. Second.
Second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. All right, budget
Next
amendments.
item is budget amendments, and we're gonna do it like we normally do. There are no hits to fund balance to be discussed. I have increased revenues to cover all of it. Increased interest income by $1 million, because we've received 894,000 more right now, and we still have another month to receive.
Can you just do that all the time for us?
I wish.
Hey, Callie's working this magic down there, and markets.
Just
Interest rates are holding.
That's all we need.
Yeah. All right, does anyone have any questions about those? Do you wanna? Does any further talk?
I was just wondering exactly what some of them are.
The revenues, litigation tax, general sessions, you guys actually increased that, and we've started seeing some of that increase. Litigation tax for courtroom security, cable TV franchise fees. We got a payment from the state for in-service payments to EMS, $17,000. We got a new grant. EMS got a grant to help offset the cost of that truck we just bought. TVA revenue sharing came in a little higher than I expected. Contracted prisoner board, other federal through state, that's a new grant that we received right at the end of the year, $45,000. And
What was that one for?
that is for the drug coalition, drug endangered children's grant. It will continue for 2 more years after this. And then we got a contribution from the Gladys Trust to go to the library to purchase a copier. And then there's insurance recovery, insurance payments for the ambulance service, two wrecks that they've had.
Make a motion, we approve it.
All right, there's a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed? So moved.
And there's amendments in here for multiple funds. You wanna go over separate ones? None of them hit fund balance. You wanna go?
Yeah, let's go
over
over each
separate?
fund separately, that's fine.
Okay.
That was 101.
That was the general fund. The solid waste fund is just some moving to clean up things. At the end of the year, we moved within their budget, and there's no hits to revenue or fund balance.
Do we have a motion on the solid waste?
So much.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? So moved.
Highway fund is increasing revenue, the mineral severance tax that was increased by you guys. And then they sold equipment, they've got contributions to do roads, and then they got, insurance recovery funds from a total vehicle as well. No hits to fund balance.
So how much did the mineral severance increase?
I've added 8,600, but it's a little more than that. 8,600 is what we needed to pay the invoice to Bear Group. We're just gonna let the rest roll the fund balance.
I just bought 2 loads of gravel today, I saw that on there. so.
Thank you, Scott.
All right, any other questions on the highway fund? If not, I entertain a motion to accept it.
So moved.
Is there a second? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. All right, debt service.
It's just a small one. We had to do a property tax refund and there was not a line in the debt service line for that. So I'm just moving it from another line within that fund.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. All right, general capital projects.
This is for a floor repair at the transfer station and we're moving it from a convenience center line. So once again, no hit to fund balance.
Where was the floor?
Actual transfer
It's the
station.
transfer station, yeah.
That's what the contractor's supposed to pay for, right?
No, there was, when there's existing damage, remember right up against the push wall, there was rebar that was exposed there, when we had the building resealed and all that around the outside, but, I have been in contact with the contractors on it, and Daniel's supposed to be coming out and looking at it. I'm trying to get them to help us with the project, so, but as far as the contract goes, from what I recall, if there's major repairs that have to be done like that, then we have to negotiate or work out some kind of cooperative deal with them, so that's what we're working toward right now. I will say, I'm gonna press on them to help us with it, because their piece of equipment has actually caused a lot of damage, because it's got the rubber shoes on the tracks, but they've been worn down for like the last couple months, and so it's eating into the concrete even more. I told Daniel that on the phone the other day, so that's what we're working toward, but nevertheless, we got to.
I know that it was in the contract, they had to keep that rubber on the push
That's right.
blades
So
and
that's
on
where-
the machines.
I actually went out there and looked at it last week, and Kevin didn't have a problem telling me, yeah, they've been on order for a while, we just ain't got on there. I said, well, how long have they been worn down? And he said, about 2 or 3 months. And Gary's like, well, the excessive damage has been done in the last 2 or 3 months, so.
He's a whole account.
That's what we're doing. Daniel's coming out here to look at it, so.
Yes, we talked about if we had it up to, it says in the contract, if I remember now, that if we had it up to where it was supposed to be, that they would maintain that. And that, if I remember right, that's what the contract says, but now it's, have we got that back?
See, we never fixed, there's one spot about wide as this table, about the deepest, 4 or 5 feet, and that's just kind of expanded out, is what it's done.
If we get it to the spot, I think, that it needs to be held accountable for them to fix everything, so that's the whole idea.
So anyway, we're looking at that, but we've got to certainly do something about it. Yeah, I'm on it with them as far as holding the account.
But this is just $25,000 moved over to work on that, right?
Move with adopt.
In a second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved.
Alright, next is property tax revenue. David, I'll let you discuss that. This is getting into the budget, discussion.
Okay, so, of course, we, the 6-year appraisal was passed by you all to be turned into a 4-year appraisal, which that happened this year, of course. That's not news to any of us. Everybody got that letter in the mail. And all of our property values increased considerably. So being a equalization year by state law, the state recommended rate comes down, certified tax rate from the state of Tennessee, went from $2.01 for every $100 of taxable value to $1.4825. So it went down 26% to prevent people from having to pay an exorbitant amount of more money for property taxes. As a matter of fact, I've done calculations on a $400,000 piece of property, and somebody that had a $400,000 piece of property is actually going to pay less with the new tax rate than they did last year with the 2.01. So it's based kind of what your value is, the depreciation on your home, various things like that will contribute to that. We have looked at this budget, and we feel like the county is in really good shape. And Randy and I talked about the ability for us to lower it even further. And so what you're going to see tonight in this budget is that we actually exceed the recommended rate or decrease the recommended rate from the state. So they recommend 1.48, but you'll see we also have it figured here at 1.4725. So to take a penny off of that because we know that some people are being stressed by the values of their homes and all those things, so we'd actually be reducing the tax rate another penny in excess of what the state recommended. So that's something I wanted Brandy to put together, and so she's gonna present these numbers here tonight, so I'll let you go.
And the budget that you guys have in front of you right now is based on that 1.47 rate. Y'all have any questions on that page before we go further?
I'm trying to read these two columns, so I understand the left column is,
The left column versus the right column. Okay, yeah, the left column, that's how much it's
Oh,
gonna
okay, you're talking
generate
about
if we
with-
collect
okay.
100%.
the right column is with delinquents.
The right
Okay,
column, yeah,
gotcha.
the right column is what we actually put in
Okay.
the budget.
What we're actually budgeting off of.
Okay. So our penny's at 149,000.
Mhm.
When I started, it was 60.
Hey, just when I came to office, it was 102,
Right.
or was it
One,
90?
one, two, I think.
102 just 4 years ago, so it's increased that much. All right, any questions about that? If not, we'll move on. Brandy, I'll let you.
From here on out, we're going off of that lower one.
The 1.47, we can all keep in the back of our mind, that certified rate's a penny higher than that, but, I think we can make it without it.
So I did, to keep from having to flip through this huge document, page by page, unless you guys want to do that, I did a summary here, the first 3 pages. The first column is the audited numbers from 24-25, that's where we ended. The second column is 25-26, which is the year we're in right now, that's where I estimate we'll end up. And then the next column is 27 base. That's no raises in here, there's capital projects are pulled out, that's the budget cuts that you guys sent back for. All of that is included in, or not included in this. The cuts are in here. The raises that everybody requested and the capital projects are taken out, so you know what is recurring. And
This
then,
is at the 1.47.
yes.
Yes.
And then the 27 requested, that is exactly what every department requested, just so that it has been presented. If you flip over to the 3rd page, you'll see that in that base column, I'm projecting that we'll hit fund balance by 150,726. This is the best base budget we have ever presented. Under Davis, and I don't know about before because I've not looked back, but this is the best one that we have ever done.
Last one, third page in.
3rd page, 3rd column.
Net change in fund balance. What, the difference in that and requested. So that's where we're at, that's what's requested.
Last year, Brandy, our hit to fund balance that we ended up passing was
I think it was 122.
right around 1.2.
So from here, we'll discuss, countywide raises, we'll discuss everybody's capital projects, and anything you approve off of that list will add to this hit, but the base is 150.
Well, if there's things on here that you don't necessarily agree with on this list.
Well, we can go through it department by department. Which is probably the best thing, and I'd be flipping through this big document, and we can do that.
See the election commission,
Pages at 1
well, on the, it's on the first page, on expenditures. Looks like they had asked for 6,000, 5,000 some change more. It's like, that's probably just back in the bigger fund. What were they asking for?
I believe those are small cuts that I made based on, and anything in this this big document that is in yellow is cuts that I made, not the department.
Do we get any reimbursement on governor elections versus like we do on presidential?
On that, I'm not sure. I do know that we got reimbursement on the county primary this year. So I would assume.
I hope it comes from a Republican party for $250 to run. Just saying. And my required donation.
Without your consent.
Yeah. I'm on the record saying
I know in presidential elections we get reimbursed.
I would assume that's.
Yes. I'm just thinking, that even though it's in our budget, we'll get it back on the back end. I mean, it's gonna be the end of the calendar year, but
All right, let me make a recommendation here. Why don't we just walk through this?
That was gonna be mine.
Let's
That
just
way we
roll
don't
through it,
have
and when we
flip
get
through.
to, segments of the budget where we've got guests that are here to, share with us
Okay.
what they've got, their input, and we'll certainly, ask them to speak to that.
All right, the first,
Yes.
6 pages are all revenues.
that. That's, I think we need to go through them.
If you'll turn to page 7, we'll start with the county commission budget. You can't give yourself a raise, but you can give the next one's raises.
That's the only fair way to do it.
There it is.
Maybe we can get somebody to run it.
There are no raises.
nobody wants it.
Well, it's in consolation, I think I'll be able to do that. Of course, I don't have a vote.
I do too, they spend a whole lot of time. in the
Bert
room
Spearman
right
pushed the last one through.
Dude,
Went from 200 to 300, whole 50%.
that's a big raise there.
All right,
So it comes up to this thing.
Any questions about- County commission?
yes. Since you brought it up, Philip, $5,500 was spent, or $55,000 was spent on travel in the county commission this year. Next year, I put that amount back in there as well as increased it a little bit because we're gonna have new county commissioners that will have to attend that COOP training and CTAC.
All right.
Pages ain't very numbered, where we, I know you said 7.
Yeah, you should go one more, it looks like.
No,
No,
you should
no,
go
you're
back.
far back, yeah.
You're on the beer board page.
Can't count.
There's the commission
There
page.
we go.
There you go.
All right, any further questions about the commission?
So that's the only thing that changed.
Yeah, you've got a maintenance agreement in there for the Civic Plus program that you guys purchased last year, $14,820.
Mhm.
But that's really the only thing that changed, those 2 items.
Moving on to general fund 101,
This is the beer board budget, the next page is the beer board budget.
700 on, what kind of beer is that?
We need more,
Towards line.
so we need more beer.
And that's just to pay the
Just
committee
kidding,
members
just
when they have those meetings.
Yeah, I don't know why they did. I think we ever change that back.
What's that?
Every time we shut the beer board meeting, they make $50.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
a beer
know.
board than any other meeting.
I don't know.
I think that's the state.
What I was told is not.
Is it not?
Yeah. I'm on it, so I don't mind if we cut it out. That's all. I mean, listen.
So the total being proposed here is $974 for this portion of the budget. I cut the legal notices and costs based on what the last 5 years have been. I cut it down to 150. We can always go back and increase it if they have more.
We can,
applicants. We can put the 200 back in there. I do this budget, so that's why I did.
is their permit not paid for that?
Yeah, you got revenue to offset it.
Okay.
All right, my budget,
You wanna talk about your budget, or you want me to?
go for it. since you did all those cuts.
Alright, yeah, I cut him down, y'all. We cut his advertising line from, he requested $1,000, which is what he had the year before. We cut that down to $750. Maintenance agreements, I had requested a 10% on his maintenance agreement on his copier. I cut that back down to what it actually is. And then his travel, the year before was 11,500, I believe. He spent 10,500, so that's what I cut it down to. And then I adjusted a couple of other small lines, his other supplies and materials line and other charges line. Total for that budget is $311,362.
All right, county attorney.
Yes, I have included $84,000 for his retainer fee. That's about $7,000 a month.
Any questions about that?
Does he bill us regularly?
He bills us monthly.
Okay. I know Charlie used to go,
He bills us on the
Years
first of the
without
month every month, religiously.
And I will say, like, he's billing us right. Like, Charlie never billed us,
I know.
okay, ever, hardly for any extra
about
work.
once every 5 years, we get this huge bill from you. So,
That's right. So, he's billing us right, so like, I'm just gonna tell you, every phone call, every email from us, you know, he's.
And it's listed out on each invoice exactly what he did for those hours that he's billing us for, so.
So that $7,000 a month is just baseline.
Retainer, that's right. If it exceeds that, then we can bill.
It's $300 an hour is what he bills us for.
Alright.
Alright, election commission, they did not ask for raises. They have 3 city elections. And let's see, in August and November 2026 election. The difference in the amounts that you pointed out, Philip, I had cut down their in-service training line. They had asked for $1,000. They've not used that line in several years, so I cut it down to $500.
Valuation testing, he knocked it down to $350. Yeah, I can send him that, that's exactly what I was asking for, I didn't know what they'd asked for, and I see.
And she put 19,711 in there for her micro vote agreement. I dropped that back down to 18,000 because we've not ever spent over 17. So I gave her a little room for inflation with that drop.
is that the software for the voting machine?
It is. They're the ones that set up the ballot and the company that does that.
Alright, any questions?
No, I seen that we went down $5,000 or so, and just didn't know what they were asking for.
Alright, Tara's budget, register of deeds.
Carol's budget is pretty small and it's pretty bare bones. She doesn't ask for anything extra unless she truly needs it, and she's not asked for anything this time either. She did, what's on here is cuts that she provided when we requested. Of course, nobody was able to cut 10% out.
We expected that.
That's right.
I know you did.
And it's not like they have a lot of fluff in them anyway.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that on social media the other day about how much waste in government. I said, please come to our budget meeting. Like, help us find it, please.
People say, cut the budget. Have you looked at the budget?
Alright, moving
yeah,
on
you have
to-
to have a little fluff in there for emergencies.
Sure.
And you don't want to have to come to the budget committee every single time you have a computer breakdown or a screen crack, so.
Alright, county buildings.
You want to talk about?
Yeah, let me talk about that real quick. So, again, we've talked for the last several years about how valuable our maintenance department is, because it's more than just a maintenance department. We've got a full-blown construction team going over here. And so when I came in office, there were numerous invoices, that had yet to been paid from construction projects and things that went on where we hired this or hired that done. And, Mark Brewer started taking on more and more projects, more and more work, and Mark is more of a project manager oftentimes than he is a maintenance supervisor, even though he does both jobs. And so Mark and his crew have saved us hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe well into $1 million plus over the last 4 years. And my recommendation is to give him to pay him accordingly and to raise his salary up to what you see here on paper. And I did some comparisons to what someone in his position at a construction company would make. But this number actually, I want to add 5,000 to this number that you see here, because that was the original thing he and I talked about. And I feel like it's more than justified and warranted. So
you're taking the 8231 to 85.
no, county billing's 85.
I'm right below it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Again, you remember kind of how some of the courthouse issues were over there with that project was done, and they went in there and flipped those rooms in the back and did all that work for us using trustee labor and then some of our maintenance department as well, and Mark overseen that. And it looks as good as any construction company we would have hired who would have charged us
Election commission and veteran.
all
office
the work he's done. Yeah, I think it's time to.
How about your tools and truck?
That's what I'm
He's right
looking
here.
at. I know how
Yeah.
I know how that
How
is.
about your
So
tools and truck?
How bad are my tools on truck? Is that-
Yeah, well, there's been,
You're always needing tools. You know.
I understand,
You-
yeah.
you asked for
I think-
9,200 and it's been cut to 25.
Well, that's because it was a capital project, it'll be discussed
Okay.
All right.
separately.
All right.
In just.
Yeah, that wouldn't be recurring. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was gonna say, if we want him to do good work, you
That's
gotta
what
have
they know
tools.
we can do.
Wish that was what it cost me.
We sell the college, I mean, well, I guess that line will go away, right?
Yes.
It will.
Where's that at?
It's the
335.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
She's got several projects lined up, coming down the line. Yeah, why don't you talk, Mark, from here about, the recommendations you have for your personnel?
Okay. I'd give them 5% raise if that's an option. I'd like to ask for it. I want to ask for a promotion for Beth Bolin. Beth is here with us, and I think everybody knows, pretty much everybody knows Beth. She's a very positive employee, comes in every day with a smile on her face, and she works hard each and every day. It's nothing I can't, but she doesn't care to get in the floor and lay flooring or mow yards or whatever it takes to get the job done. She's there. But I'd like to ask for her to be promoted with that. There's a couple big projects over on 599. There's a couple buildings. The old VA building, there's some talk, and I guess it's up to the county commission whether it happens or not to turn it into the morgue. And then the EMS, these are two similar projects that I want to do a complete remodel on, just like we've done it at the election office or at the VA. Those two buildings use some attention there. There's two issues I'd like to address over at the courthouse.
Hold on, 1 second, Mark.
Okay.
If y'all will flip in your little packet, all of this that he's talking about is bullet pointed to make it easier. Okay, go ahead, Nancy.
All right. Two at the courthouse, two projects I'd like to tackle is air conditioning control and the elevator
Both of these are, original equipment dated back to 1974, and they need some upgrading. Air conditioning is hard to control the temperature with the system we got now. I've got a quote from Train with a new upgraded, system that will computerize things and control the air a whole lot better. The elevator is getting harder and harder. My technician, he fusses at me every time he comes because the circuit boards are obsolete now. Everything's getting harder to find this equipment. 707 line, we want to install two automatic door openers. One at senior citizen, one at the budget office. These are the ones that we've installed here. You walk up, hit the button, the doors automatically open. It makes it a lot easier for handicaps to get through the doors. And I'm asking for a truck. I'm gonna let my assistant talk here. I'm trying to encourage her to talk in public a little more here, and if she can tell you why we need a new truck.
All right, Beth, take it away.
Okay. Don't stare at me too hard. I'm not paying it. Okay. So everybody knows my truck outside. The white truck with the motor trailer attached to it. I asked for a new truck because my truck is not an ideal maintenance truck. I mean, it's got tools in the back seat that are completely full. The toolbox on the bed of the truck is completely full, and we don't have anywhere to store my tools. And the housekeeping car. We all know that housekeeping car has been passed down from department to department to department.
Thing runs like a top, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's getting to where it doesn't run like a top anymore.
Okay, all right.
So they would get my truck in return to offset my new truck.
I got you.
So they have storage to haul from building to building, more seating for the two girls and their inmate if they need it, whatever.
Sure.
Good job.
Well done.
What kind of truck you looking at, Mark?
It's a 2026 3500 HD crew cab with a utility bed.
3500 Chevrolet?
Yep.
These for gas?
Yes.
Good choice. On gas, not necessarily new Chevrolet.
Hey, I didn't want to
You're gonna
afford.
say that about new anything though, Philip.
Yeah.
Beth is a Chevrolet person, don't
Okay, so does anyone have any questions?
So you got two maintenance personnel? Is that right?
you? That work under me, Beth
And two
and,
custodial.
And two custodial, so you want to promote her to assistant maintenance director? Are you
Right.
plan on filling that spot or something?
no.
Just the
we
job
want to
title.
promote her for hard work she does.
Beth, how long you been with us?
It'll be 3 years in November.
I will say, she's usually right up in the middle of it, getting it done, and showing these inmates how to get it done too. It's pretty impressive, actually. So, I trust Mark to give us the right information to take care of his people.
And I have this bullet pointed, so we can go back after, if you want to, we'll go through it, each department, and then we'll go back and look at these bullet points, and y'all can decide after you've heard everything, what you wanna fund and what you don't.
Capital projects.
Okay.
All right. Any more questions about that budget in
Right now,
particular?
last question on the, so the total salaries on the maintenance personnel, is that split in half right now? Are they both being paid the same?
No.
No? Okay. We'll come back to it.
When we come back to it, I've got it on my computer.
Okay.
All right, any other questions about maintenance and, let's just say maintenance and construction department? All right.
Moving on, the next one is archives. one more public trailer.
I know.
She didn't ask for anything, she couldn't cut a whole lot out of her budget, she didn't ask for anything other than that summer intern position. She did cut it down from a 300-hour internship to a 200-hour paid internship. But that's the only thing that she asked for this year.
That dropped her what? $2,000. I want to speak a little bit about that. Like, she runs herself along to death, and that's why I stopped down there to see her one day, and she keeps that thing neat and good. I kind of feel bad her being there by herself most of the time. Kind of needs an intern there most of the time. I feel like. Just throw that out there. Anytime one person in a place by herself, keeping the doors locked until she has an appointment or somebody knocks. A little sketchy. I wouldn't want my wife to be
No, it is.
be there with the door locked, waiting on whoever may rise.
The total's a lot different total, isn't it? Very total.
Still
one?
general government.
The total general government is all of the
That's
ones
all
we talked about.
Oh,
The line
Her,
item
her
there
total
just-
is the small line item above.
all right.
Her line item's $2,100.
All right. Any more questions about archives? If not, we'll move on to council budget office. So I'm recommending, I'm recommending to the committee tonight, to increase Brandy's pay, to the number you see here. She has stepped up, took this job as an interim position, and you all, of course, appointed her, you guys voted her in as our budget director. I think she's proven herself over the last 3.5 years to be not only what we hoped she would be, but exceeded our expectations. And so, this is my recommendation on the salary for her job, and I've done comparisons to other counties, and this is right in the ballpark of what she should be making. Some with a little more credentials make a little bit more than this, but as far as what it takes to do the job, I think she's got one of the hardest jobs in the county. So,
If I'm not mistaken, that's where we were at, because I remember, I think our very first commission, you asked, didn't you?
I think it's more than that.
I think
no,
it
it's
was
more.
92.
It's still less
Yeah.
than, it's still less than what
Right
her,
at
98.
Yeah,
She would have been making 103
she'd be making 103 today,
today.
but her predecessor.
She's still here.
We
What is it?
we had put it in at the same level as a elected official.
Mm.
And Teresa was here.
She was higher than the elected.
Yeah, she was making one of that, probably a way harder job.
Look at the budget director of the school system.
Yeah.
She's making more than that.
Yeah.
Again, y'all can add to that all you want, but that's at least what I would ask you to consider.
Well, let's look at everything that's saying.
All right, what else did you cut out of your budget, Brandy?
I cut my legal notices. I don't think I'll make 1,500, so I cut it back down to 1,000. Most of that is the budget ad because it's so big. It costs so much money. We don't really run a whole lot of other ads in there. I cut my postal charges back down to what I had spent in the year before. I cut my printing stationery and forms down because we just ordered a big batch of checks, and that's mainly what we use that money for.
Okay.
I cut my travel down. That's enough to send me and one other employee to TGFOA in the fall.
Okay.
I cut my utilities down to about what we spent the year before. And then I had asked for $6,000 for 4 new workstations because they have outdated windows. Our auditor had requested, or had recommended that we replace those. It's the last 4 that need to be replaced. I had asked for $6,000 for that. I cut that out, and we'll look at that as a capital project later.
Decided on some cheaper office.
Do what?
And you decided on some cheaper.
Well,
office.
I actually had enough money in my budget to buy my office chair this time because it was broke, so I only have to buy a couple. I can promise you there won't be those quiet ones that are in the conference room.
Just roll them out of there.
Those things are most uncomfortable.
They are. But they're pretty.
All right, any questions about that? If not, let's move on to purchasing.
All right, purchasing is also a small budget. Of course, we had our purchasing agent left, so this estimated column is not true to what it would be if we'd had a purchasing agent the entire year. So it's not that much of an increase. I don't think I actually increased it at all from the last year's budget, other than the software. And then we cut dues and memberships because the new purchasing agent is not a member of all of the organizations that Kelly was. I cut legal notices and I also cut travel. That gives her enough to go to the TGFOA conference in the fall as well.
All right, any questions? Okay, property assessment.
The only thing the property assessor asked for was a 3% raise for his employees.
Well, we're gonna look at that overall. Any questions on the property assessor? Okay. Trustee?
Trustee did not ask for anything. I talked to him. He had put 21.5 in his data processing services line. So I called him because he'd not been spending over 15 to 18,000. And he thought something was coming out of that line that wasn't. It's actually coming out of Brady's budget. So, he agreed to cut that down to 18,000.
Okay.
I cut his postal charges back down to about what he's been spending. Printing stationery and forms, office supplies, and other supplies and materials, same thing.
Any questions? General Fund 101.
The county clerk's office, he didn't request for anything new other than raises, and we'll discuss that later.
All right. Any questions about that? All right.
IT, which is data processing, also did not ask for anything, any additional. Well, he actually did ask for more money for new cloud services. What he's doing is he's putting our servers on, they're backing up to the cloud now. And we've had to increase, our email subscriptions to a higher email so that we don't delete emails anymore. We don't have to, our emails won't get full and we don't have to delete them. So that did cost a little bit more.
Any questions about that one? Okay, circuit court.
Tommy Lee had asked for 15,000 in data processing equipment, same as last year and the year before. That's so he can keep his computers on a rotating basis on replacement and not have to replace all of them at one time. I've taken that out to be discussed as a capital project. And he also asked for rolling shelves in the amount of $200,000 for his file room.
I gotta ask what the 8,800 for Jeff Crowell is.
And this is to pay the, go ahead.
Is there a
He
summary?
had to have an interpreter for.
Interpreter.
Yes. Both the defendant and the, whatever you call the
Yes.
other one is.
Really?
Yes,
They're both dead.
and that comes out of our budget.
And you guys had approved it for the 25-26 budget, but they put the trial off into the new year, so that's why we
Just
took it
carry that
out.
money over.
Mhm.
So this filing room, Sandy, is it
Yes.
across, inside the clerk's office there, that big room
It's inside the new
where you're at?
addition. No,
It's what used to be the commission.
Oh, where the commission room is?
yes, it's
Where all the file
off to
cabinets
the
are.
left of
Okay.
there,
Okay,
And
and
it's the
it
same
is
thing as,
packed.
it's the same thing.
just like Brady's, yeah, and just like Russ's,
Yeah.
those rolling files, which do take up way less space.
Can that even be considered capital projects?
Yeah.
Yes, I've
That's
taken
a
it out
capital
to put it
project.
in there.
Okay.
I was just telling y'all as we went what
Gotcha.
everybody had requested.
Yeah, we are definitely out of room. I don't know where we're going with stuff.
And that would consolidate some space in that
That would
room as
help
well, right?
tremendously.
can always add more down the road.
Yes.
No.
All right, any questions about Tommy Lee's budget? General Sessions Court's up next.
Alright, general sessions asked for a 4% raise, and we'll discuss that later. He did cut a little bit in his budget, and then I went back and cut a little bit more. But he didn't ask for any big ticket items this year.
All right. Chancery Court.
She has asked for 4 printers and 6 scanners, $15,500, which have been taken out, to be discussed on capital projects list.
Okay. Any other questions? Juvenile Court.
Did they all
Oh,
get
go ahead.
together and decide the 5% together?
Some of them did 4, some of them asked for 5, some of them asked for, they basically asked for what we had gotten in the past,
Gotcha, okay.
which kind of makes it complicated, because I have to figure them all separately and put them all in the budget, and then we're just gonna wipe them out and start all over again anyway, but.
All right, Juvenile Court.
She asked for a 4% raise for herself and a 2% raise for her 2 youth service officers. And that is all.
Okay.
Who is the juvenile?
Ashley.
Ashley.
The next page just has to be in here because there's audited numbers there, there's no budget there. That was a grant that we had received, it's the drug endangered grant that I just talked about. I actually moved what function it falls under now. You'll see it later in this document.
All right. Our new department.
She did not ask for anything new because she still really doesn't know what she's gonna need. So we based this off of what she had last year, and we'll do the best we can to stay within that number. We do know that her software is gonna cost $13,000 a year, which is not bad for software, so that is a definite number, and then the salaries and benefits are a definite number, but other than that, we'll just have to move money around within that budget.
We do have the other position hired, of course, y'all probably aware of that. And, so they're working good right now. They're already picking up probation from the judge, officially to be July 1. And I'm working on record transfers from our previous provider. All right, courtroom security.
They did not ask for any increases this year, they asked for the same budget as last year. I did cut 3 of their lines, I've talked to John, I did cut 3 of their lines down, just minimally based on their past spending.
All right. Victim assistance program, oh, it's a continuation.
No, the victim assistance program is, we make payments to the mediation center, and there's revenue in there to cover that.
Okay.
The revenue matches what's right here.
All right,
Sheriff's Department.
here's our biggest, he's here. Sheriff, you got anything you want to share with us tonight about your budget, any particular things that you're wanting, that are out of the norm, or?
I think there's gonna come a time, and it might not be this budget year, but soon, and Chief Barcher and Mike can speak on it a little bit better than I can. But, you know, there's equipment that we have to have for our job. Body armor is something that we have to have, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brandy, did we not secure a grant, a 50-50 match for body armor?
We did,
You did, and I don't know that I put that in here, John, I'm glad you said something.
Yeah, which Nancy helped with that, and we finally got it approved, and basically the vest basically had to be replaced every 5 years for safety reasons, and then with this grant, they match, it's a federal grant that matches 50% of the cost of the vest.
Okay. So that's one of the pieces of equipment. The other major equipment purchase is going to be coming up pretty soon, and I don't know where Old Lord is with that, but our body cameras. The body cameras that we went with early merged with another company. And when they merged with another company, the customer service went to crap. So we're looking at getting a whole new system, and it's gonna be, pretty good chunk of money. I don't have
Yeah,
that.
we're trying to find grant funding for that as well, but it's kind of difficult. We're probably one of the few departments that don't have, most major metropolitan departments, even the city of Lawrenceburg, went with Axon. That's a top of the line where everybody's going to. They're set up where if you draw your taser, your weapon, it'll kick on the camera, and sometimes this pre-event recording starts, a few seconds before the incident occurs. Right now, we're constantly having to replace the ones we have, or they have issues with battery life, and it's something we need to focus on, because sometimes having that incident capture on video is something that may save us out of having to pay a liability lawsuit.
It already has. It already has.
So that's something we can expect you guys to come back to us with some numbers, maybe even possible grant funding for that
For
throughout
sure.
the year.
For certain. And then the only other thing that we're gonna need is vehicles, and I think we talked about that.
We did.
It's on the
Capital projects.
Yeah.
And I will say this, I've been involved with this department off and on for the last 35 years. And we started with TR and Morgan, and this commission has finally, moved up and enabled us to get vehicles, because what we're finding out is, obviously, the longer you wait to replace the fleet, you basically are creating a cliff effect on your fleet. And then if you have to repair a bunch of vehicles, it's gonna be a lot more expensive one-time expense than doing a few of them at a time every year. And then with all the upgrades, when you start leaving them, rolling over every year without getting new vehicles, the maintenance expenses go up, and it's really more expensive. And the safety factor goes way down.
Well, we're in a position at this point, with the health that we have, fund balance and various things, I think we need to be on some type of annual replacement plan, for you guys and for EMS for that matter.
When we get to a certain point, it's gonna be to where we can actually be able to rotate some of them out and get a better resale value for the vehicles that we have, instead of waiting until they just completely fall apart.
And then we give them to housekeeping.
Right.
So we may be able to give them housekeeping a little bit earlier when they're still.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. Question.
One question, the tower rent, so we've been talking about tacking, stuff like that. The tower rent that's on here, is that the repeater towers that?
Sure.
So that is
Yes.
14,940.
It's just to maintain
That's
the
one of them.
antique system that we're running on.
Okay, so just making sure, I kind of want to point that out. Everybody, we are paying quite a bit of money for tower rent.
Oh, it's gonna change soon, right?
That's
With one of them.
That's up to y'all.
with one of them. That's with one of them.
Instead of the big
If we can make that change, the state takes over and we have zero cost.
That was the reason I brought it up, because there's $15,000.
Yeah.
Now, if we talk about full expense of the towers that we need to cover the place, it's a big money, but $15,000 a year and realized savings.
The other three cost about 60,000 on top of that.
So you're looking at $75,000 a year. Just,
That one tower will take care of.
Yeah, well, what it'll do is when we swap over to the tacking system, it'll put us into about, working off of about 8 separate towers where we're struggling now with, 3 or 4 that we're actually operating off of. It increases our coverage and we lose the maintenance costs.
Yeah, it's something we gotta move to. All right, any other questions about the sheriff's budget?
All the blue lines there, you guys, are the SRO funds. The next one, the next page has to be in there because it has an audited number. Next is the jail. There are 3 grants included in this budget. There's a reentry grant for $148,989, an EVP grant. I don't have the total on that, on this page. And then there's a mental health transport grant included in this budget, and they have not asked for any additional items.
How's your food service situation going down there?
Susan says it's running like butter.
Good.
And it is saving us money, as I was about to
Yeah,
show
show
you
'em right there,
guys.
yeah.
322,000 is what we had spent in 24-25, and 265,000 is what we're,
It's saving more than we thought it was gonna save.
it's gonna save more than that, I believe. 2020, we didn't change that until part of the way through 25.
It was only like halfway through.
Yeah.
It was in the fall we did
Thursday night,
Green balloon.
Thursday night,
That's a meal.
you come down here. and
That's a
watch.
good meal.
That's when we have all the fights, it's on peanut butter and jelly.
I heard that. Love it. All right, any other questions about that one?
And our medical claims have actually went down from 246 to, we're around 195,000 right now. So I'm estimating 200,000 for the coming year, since we went with that Heritage Health Solution.
And probably better food, healthier food we're making ourselves.
Well, I don't think the food had enough time to kick in.
Okay, all right, well, I'm just being optimistic.
Brandy, do you have a
It's all
number
starting
on our E6?
Income, revenue side?
I do.
I know our jail population's down considerably. So
That
I imagine that
explains it.
number probably isn't as good.
That explains it. E-cigs in 24-25 was 22,776. I'm estimating a little over 20,000 this year, so I put 20,000 in the budget for next year.
They keep them calm down a little bit too, a little bit of, more nicotine, keep them calm
I
down.
need about another 60 people in jail though.
You know that boss?
Still tradesmen.
Welders, I need 60 welders.
Leave my husband alone.
Leave your husband out of this. All right.
All right, the next one is the litter grant. We get that grant every year, and it's literally used to pick up roadside litter. And we also purchase, educational items to give out, t-shirts and things like that. The next one is $2,000 we pay to the Division of Forestry. We've paid that same $2,000 for as many years as I have.
Civil defense.
Civil defense. I'll turn it over to
Joe Barnett.
There's some questions surrounding that with our volunteer flags.
This here,
Departments, why we're giving that to them, because we get leaf blowers. That's what we get, nothing for that, just saying that $2,000 is kind of a waste.
oh, that's to,
Yeah.
forestry.
Because because our departments do their job.
Yeah.
They sell for a dozen, they don't get it, they have to supply their own stuff to put out. And of course, our volunteer fire departments are not, it's not even their charter to come put your field out, it's the safe structures line. Well,
The
not even
forestry
really
doesn't
line.
show up.
And they don't show up at all, it's just, it's $2,000 waste.
Well, I'm fine with cutting that out if we can. What can we
I
do
don't
that?
know what, I don't know if that's.
What does that look like? That's something we,
It's bound to an interlocal agreement that goes back to the creation of Tennessee Department of Forestry.
and don't a certain amount of grants have come through, have to come kind of through
Yeah,
them?
there's some stuff tied to it. That's one of those, I would probably put it in there and do some research and then.
Okay.
But
The fire departments do get forestry grants each year. I mean,
yeah, they
some
did.
of them, like 4 or 5 departments a year, I think, get some type of forestry grant.
Yeah, they-
Leaf blowers.
They have, however, last year, the requirements to be eligible for that was some really stupid stuff, and the entire county said no. So, they were basically tying forestry being able to respond to Wisconsin, Nevada, wherever on deployments,
Yeah.
to our county fire taking care of their work here. I deploy, I take care of home first.
Okay, Sean, let's look at your budget here. You got your copy there,
I've got a copy.
okay?
Who cut the tornado shelter down?
Tornado
Yeah,
shelters.
Pretty much, I cut those in half.
I didn't cut that.
Ain't nothing in there.
Oh, I got you, I got you.
Capital project.
Okay. So,
Looking at it, as we've discussed about, if you'll jump down, and I'm gonna go around the process that I went through in the thinking, base it off priority. Coming down to the least most important thing to me, out of the stuff that I asked for was the pickup. I need a heavy mover, ton and a quarter, that I can put a gooseneck on.
We're talking about an ambulance, right?
Yes, after seeing the availability of a surplus unit that's fixing to happen, I can take that, strike that 60,000, whatever, completely out for that truck. Take it just plumb out. The next was the shelters. Basically, I cut that to 100,000 and took out the 3.5 million capital project for the communications tower. That's something that, even if y'all told me today to sign the contract, I don't know that I could get it in next year's budget. It would probably be the next year. So we're talking 2.5 more years down the road before that would even come. It takes time to make that stuff happen, as in the Jason Dickey. They've been working that now for about a year that we've came before the commission. We got the facilities committee forward in that. So we've already got a year into something that just getting it close to ready.
And you also told me there's potential that there'll be some grant funding potentially down the road for that.
Yes,
tower
yes,
too.
we're looking at a potential that popped up today. We may be able to get that at 100%, but that's gonna take some jumping through hoops.
We'll jump through
And
with
it's
you.
another year. So if we can get that, I mean, it would be great, but it's something to look at.
Yes, sir, for sure. Okay.
And, excuse me, just.
So you'll need 7,000 to remodify the ambulance, right, to make it a hauler?
Yes, I'll need that to be able to take that one that way I can eliminate the truck.
Put the
That way
gooseneck
it
on.
becomes trustworthy enough for me to pull that command vehicle and get it into areas. You have to remember, when I'm pulling that thing in, I'm not in optimum environments. Usually it's because of a natural disaster. And, you try to get into some of these areas, it's just ludicrous the way we have to function. Moving up to the number 3, and I don't know why it didn't populate the 5 and 4 on the spreadsheet, but asking for some chairs for the EOC. If you've ever been in that EOC, I think my chairs have leprosy. I mean, they literally are peeling off, and it's down to cloth and foam. We originally bought those chairs when we moved in over there, and they've been through some heck.
Is that something the county paid for or the city paid for?
Yes, sir, it was all county paid for. The tables and chairs in there were paid for on the county side. I was able to acquire some chairs off of the sale of a surplus vehicle on the city side. I was able to swing that enough to be able to get some chairs in there.
Okay.
So you see I've made a cut there. What I was asking for, Commissioner asking for 9,000, I dumped that down to 5,200. If I can get that, that'll cover me enough to be able to replace the rest of the chairs that are in terrible shape. Looking at under the data processing line, that's 709. I originally asked for some drones and hazard cameras. I just dumped the hazard cameras. It's a great tool for us to use. It will pay off if we have the bad weather. We got lucky, got one in Summertown up on the water tank. Y'all, just this past week, Huntsville Weather Service is finding they had 3 tornadoes in North Alabama last week. The third one was announced today with the damage past. Those cameras, they just give us a heads up. They can't prevent the tornado, but I can dang sure extend the lead time on warnings. But I removed those, got it down. the drones that goes in that also, I'm having to borrow drones. The ones I'm looking at are 10,000 apiece. We'll have a few little minor things to go with it to be able to get them launch capable. So I'm asking for 22 instead of the full thing with the has cams. Keep in mind, I'm having to borrow about 1.5 to 2 times a week a drone coming out of Murray or Giles County. The Giles County drone is the one I want to replicate. The Murray County drone's 30,000. If I respond to a call with the sheriff's department and Billy Bob decides he's gonna take his shotgun and shoot my drone out of the air, I've gotta pay $30,000 for the Murray County drone. I'm asking for 22, and it'll get me 2.
And these are like got infrared on them where you can
Yes,
detect
thermal.
somebody running through the woods.
Yes,
see them.
they're running with thermal. The thermal gives us the temperature changes. I can see you buried under leaves is the video that the sheriff's department posted on one that they had run from them. Literally, we can walk the deputies up to them within feet.
Let me ask you, let me butt in real quick, Shelton.
Yes.
So what about tornado sirens? Wasn't there an issue with the Bonnertown deal that there wasn't any sirens down
Yeah,
there? Like, when I was a kid, we'd hear these sirens going off, big time.
The reason why Bonnertown got no warning was it's a complicated thing, and I'm gonna try to draw it down straight to it. The radar available did not detect a rotational signature.
Okay.
National Weather Service out of Huntsville had a rotational signature coming off Columbus as it was further south and west. So they issued a tornado warning that came up to the state line. Nashville had no reason to issue a warning, so there was no warning issued. Everybody in here has emergency alerts capable on their cell phone. That's why it didn't come across the cell phone. The thing about sirens is they're great. Like Summertown has got one fixing to put it up. It's gonna go up there next to the school where all the outdoor activities are. It's a great tool. I live exactly 1.1 miles from a tornado siren, and if you're sitting in my house, you'll never hear it go off.
Okay.
That's the drawback on them. Are they a valuable tool? Yes. However, to cover Lawrence County at a mile radius around it, I'm gonna need like 45 or 50 of those things. And
tower, whatever tower.
I'll have to have them elevated.
Okay.
They're typically made to go on poles. The cost effectiveness and the maintenance on them are terrible. Though it's a worthwhile effort. Like Summertown's got one, they're working on trying to get it up for their outdoor activity areas. That's the greatest tool there is for outdoor activity areas. So.
All right, we can talk more about that later, if you want to carry on through your capital project.
Explain why you need 2 drones.
Well, the thing is I'm flying a drone, right? I'm chasing
Battery
you.
run.
My battery runs down. If I can get another drone in the air, because this thing tells me when I'm down to a quarter battery, I can get another drone in the air. That drone can come and acquire that person again, instead of me pulling off the drone, coming back, changing the battery, and it'll take us, depending on how far it is to the drone, 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay, so you're not charging during that time, you're just replacing battery.
Exactly. So I have to bring that drone back and replace the battery.
Keeping one eye on the guy with another drone.
Yeah.
while you leave.
And I can do that. Plus, if there's anything that goes on with it, I've got a backup.
I'm not gonna lie, if there's a missing kid or something like that, I want you to have.
Dude, it's a powerful tool. You can see from just that one video that was shot of that one. If that had been a kid that was missing and he was laid down in the woods, it's a tool. It's so
Is that how
bad.
y'all caught the escaped convict down there in Iron City?
No, but he's referring to a different situation, but we have used them when we had a runaway juvenile with autism. And in Wayne County, I'm telling you, there's no better piece of equipment when you have that. You talk about a high stress situation. When you have some an autistic kid that is left on foot. that's when it's worth the money.
I'm sure it varies, but how, you know, minimal, if you get Giles counties right then and you call them, it's gonna take at least 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm looking more at 35, 40 minutes to get them into the county, 35,
Whereas we
40.
can have two in your freaking truck.
Yeah, and I'll have them in the truck and just be there.
Okay. All right, what else you got on your,
The next thing
Shelters.
my number one priority, we talked about the shelters, I cut those in half. They are my number 4, below the truck. Going to the chairs, then the drones, then the most important was the communications. I cut that, I'm actually needing 6 radios, I can get away with 4. What I need is, I need to be able to put a radio at least at dispatch. Because I've got tacking capabilities, but I've got to have a radio at a dispatcher to be able to talk to them. Last year I asked for 50, got 20, so I was able to get about 2 of the 5 that I asked for. And I planned on asking for some more the next budget year, spreading them across.
okay,
We had the incident down in Iron City where the guy escaped. I literally called and borrowed again radios to where that we could communicate down there. We had the particular problem, one of the deputies did get hands on the guy and was in an actual fight with him in a car. He was screaming on a radio on our system that didn't work. So had that guy shot him, he'd have just been laying there till we found him with a drone. We borrowed some radios. I borrowed 2 to put on the teams. When the Murray County Dog and the Giles County Dog, and we had drones coming from those also. When they got here, they were on tacking radios and they could talk to us. The equipment that I had bought, besides the ones that I've literally had to put a handset in the dispatch center so that I can at least talk to them out of those spots. This would put a radio into the dispatch console to be able to allow that to happen. That gets us interoperability capabilities with state and surrounding counties by having that. I also need a couple in the command vehicles so that we have these situations happen. Those command vehicles have that communications capability. I cut it from 66 down to 44. I can ask for that 2 more radios into the future.
okay. We'll loop all of these into a capital project request. That sound okay with you, Brandy?
That's what I've got it.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
I've got all these things.
Thank you, Shelton. Thank you for all you're doing, and you guys save lives every day. I really appreciate that. Okay, here's the rescue squad. You see what what audited was, estimated for us, what you guys just passed in the budget amendment. And they're the same request as last year in the budget itself. Any questions about that? Other emergency management?
This is our contribution to E911 for a portion of the salary and benefits of the dispatch.
Okay. Coroner medical examiner?
The only thing that they asked for is, of course, they're gonna move to
The old VA
to the
building.
old VA building. So they're asking for cameras in the security system out there, $5,600. And then the camera monitoring will be $1,100 a year. And then they are asking, of course, for a utility budget now, that they'll have a utility bill, and they're asking for $3,500 for furniture, because that building is completely empty now.
Are we having to build any kind of refrigerated room or anything like that?
The cooler's on the ground. All down county.
It's sitting in Mark's shop.
Yes, it's in a humongous box in our shop. Yes,
Good,
that is
good.
true.
All right, listen, I'm gonna propose a 5-minute recess here, and then we're gonna come back and finish up talking through this. And if you've already spoken about your budget, you need to go, you're certainly welcome to do that. Mr. Edwards here too, he's gonna talk Main Street, folks are here, we're gonna speak a little bit on that library as well. When we reconvene here in 5 minutes. Sound good?
Let's start.